And for those of you who've been watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series in Portland, welcome to the CW's premiere of Pac-12 After Dark, the Battle of the Palouse, Idaho, and Washington State. As we're getting ready to kick it off, Washington State will kick off to the Vandals. Season underway. Aaron Kinsey brings it out of the end zone and up past the 20-yard line. Here are today's impact players, brought to you by Old Spice.
Yeah, the Idaho Vandals starting a transfer from Fresno State, and Joshua Wood. He's got some Cougar ties with his dad being a former Cougar. On the Washington State side of things, it's Parker McKenna, the transfer from Portland State. Played a little bit last year, but really came into his own last year in the bowl game against Syracuse. Made the new coaches from South Dakota State stand up and find out who's number 44.
Joshua Wood dropped back already. Behind him, Elijah Cummings, the redshirt senior. He'll get the first carry over the left side and brought down just after a gain of 1.
Well, there's that guy I was talking about, Parker McKenna. You know, he was really special last year and already off to a good start. Here's you're talking about Joshua Wood. Of course, he's from the area, from the state of Washington, wanted to be a little bit closer to home, wasn't given the starting job outright at Fresno State and said, hey, I'm going to go make something happen somewhere where I'm wanted.
Wood so dangerous with his legs. This one out into the flats, and it's like a completion.
Just a heck of a throw here. He puts a lot of air underneath it from one hash all the way to the sideline, and then just a tremendous job of going up, using his hands to catch the ball. Gets 2 feet in. That's good on Sundays as well, as he gets them in a very manageable third down opportunity.
That was Michael Graves with the reception, and that will bring up 3rd and 1. Cougar crowd letting him know. Cummings the ball carrier, he gets across the Cummings the ball carrier, he gets across the
good physical job by the offensive line, just getting enough push. Lower man wins. He picks up the 1 yard to move the chains, and that's exactly what you wanted if you were Thomas Ford Jr. If you guys got the ball first, you want to pick up a first down, not go 3 and out, and start to try to establish a little bit something there. Big throw on 2nd down that really set that up.
Joshua Wood looks off into the flat on the left side. Another completion, this time to Ryan Jezeroa. Closed captioning for today's game is brought to you by Avaro, the bank that puts money in your pocket.
I mean, really, the first 2 throws from Joshua Wood doesn't look like the moment's too big for him at all. On target, accurate, towards the sideline, long throws.
And Ryan, you and I both saw him yesterday in walkthroughs, and his feet are as impressive as that arm that we're seeing. So if he gets into trouble, he can make the carry. But this time it's Cummings again. Slips away from a tackler and run out of bounds at the 42.
Yeah. Little extracurriculars over there on the sideline, right underneath us here. It is a rivalry, like they said, but Anthony Polano, he gets in there first. Now watch him turn around and he spins right back into him. He's able to get enough body on him where he isn't able to pick up really any yards to setting up a 3rd down and another opportunity to get off the field for Washington State.
3rd and 2 from the 42 coming up. This time, handoff over to the left side.
That's Matt Durant's up there filling that hole. It looked like he was just a little hesitant. You know, it was going to be that man, mano a mano, in the gap there. He hesitated just a little bit when he got to the hole, and they get enough for the first down. They've made him work for it. Listen, both these first downs have taken all 3 plays, and they've only got it by a yard or so. So the defense is doing what they kind of talked about. It's not necessarily a bend but don't break mentality.
Cummings back in the backfield, and he gets met at the line of scrimmage and turned back.
Thomas Ford Jr., first season of the Vandals head coach. He was their special teams coordinator and running backs coach in 2022 and 2023. They played Washington State in 2022 to start the season. It was Cam Ward, who was the #1 overall draft pick in this year's NFL draft, was his first game, and they snuck out of here with the win. Washington State did 24-17 in that game.
3 wideouts to the right, and he's going to throw to his running back, Cummings, with the catch, and he slides out just past midfield. Jamori Colson on the stop for the Cougars.
I'm really impressed with the defense so far and actually being in the places they're supposed to be. They're wrapping up. They're making tackles. They're making Idaho have to work for every single yard. Great job there of executing and now setting them up with their longest 3rd down attempt so far in this ball game.
Art Williams in the backfield with Wood. 3 wide receivers right, 1 left. And here's the legs, but nothing doing as the Cougars stop him at midfield.
Yeah, I don't think this was necessarily a designated run, but he looks for his first target, doesn't like it, and he takes off. But a great job at the forefront. Max Balloon right there. He has his eyes up while the quarterback is stepping up, while he was trying to rush the passer, and then all 11 guys to the ball. We heard about that from the defensive coordinator, Jesse Bobbitt, the whole week about how he wants all 11 hats on the ball. And you saw a swarm of Cougars there to knock him down.
Harm punts this one. Fair catch called for at 7-yard line. 41-yard punt. Now let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by Sky Rizzi.
Yeah, for Idaho, don't forget, this is an FCS team that's getting paid a lot of money to play in the game, but they want to be competitive, right? They want to break the streak. They have 10 losses here, so they need to be close entering the 4th quarter. Understand that, too. Be close, find a way, let the guys know that they have a chance. If so, go after it. If not, keep your guys safe, keep them healthy for when the Big Sky Conference season starts. As for the Cougars, it's a new chapter. I don't really care about the result tonight. I know that's hard, where we quantify with wins and losses. I want to see execution tonight, offensively, defensively, stay out of the result, and the Cougars will win no matter what.
All right, you mentioned it earlier. Jackson Potter, the quarterback for the Cougars. Throws it into the flat quickly. Tony Freeman with the reception.
You can't really escape the modern day of offensive football, right? It's going to be a little bit of basketball on grass. It always has been. But they do a little bit more. Their offensive line is cohesive. They're big. They're physical. Those are things that, you know, you really haven't had at Washington State. Guys that are willing to move and push people forward in the trenches.
1,528 pounds of offensive line. Angel Johnson running through an opening there. And here are today's Impact Players, brought to you by Old Spice.
You have on the defensive side of the football for the Idaho Vandals, Dylan Lane. His brother was the starting quarterback a year ago, kind of was under the radar. This year's really stepped forward as a leader, and everybody expects him to do a lot on the defensive side. For Washington State, it's Angel Johnson, their running back, the transfer from South Dakota State. They're going to ask him to do a lot. He's not going to be the lone running back, but he's going to be the focus of what Washington State wants to do when it's on the ground.
Shift here, 3rd and 2. Up the middle, but met right at the line of scrimmage by the Vandals, and he's not going to get the first down.
Just talking about Dylan Lane, and he met him in the hole. That's an interesting personnel. It's 22 personnel, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. You have a lot of people up front. I talked about being physical at the point of attack. They just got overrun right there. Right at the point of attack, like I said, allowed Dylan Lane to showcase his ability to get to the running back and stuff him. 3 and out on Jackson Potter's first series as a Washington State quarterback.
Ryan Harris back to punt for the Cougars. He'll be standing right on the end zone line. And flag coming out. Looks like delay of game. And that's going to put the punter in the end zone. Elisha Cummings, the running back, is back to receive. He's at the Cougars' 45-yard line. This one off the side of his foot and bounces once at the 38-yard line. And great field position for the Vandals. They're in Washington State territory. Welcome back to CW Football Saturday, presented by Olive Garden's never-ending Pasta Bowl, starting at $13.99. Again, mentioned 8 miles separate these 2 campuses, so the Vandals, almost like a home game, they take a bus ride of about 20 minutes to get from their campus to here at Giesa Field. Thomas Ford, impressive start to this game as head coach. The option. Wood keeps it all the way down past the 30-yard line.
That was pretty impressive. Had maybe a little look at the Tommy Frazier down there in your neck of the woods, Nebraska. Good job. Watch him with a little pump. Sends Parker McKenna out to the pitch man, and he takes it up and picks up a big chunk of yards to set up a 2nd and short.
A big gain, 8 on the carry, brings up 2nd and 2 from the 30-yard line. This time handing off to Cummings, and once again getting away from first contact, but taken down at the 30-yard line. Penalty flag on the play.
There you had both Polano and Francel, South Dakota State transfers. Flag was thrown right in the area of probably offensive holding.
Number 68 offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay second.
You mentioned my neck of the woods in Nebraska. Well, that's where Francel's from. Caleb Francel from Grand Island, Nebraska.
Gets his right arm underneath the chin. The defensive lineman. Good call by the official. And I will say, the official's microphone it's the best one I've ever had.
Very clear.
It's very good. Very good.
40-yard line, and Art Williams in the backfield now for the Vandals. He'll get the carry off the left side, but met again before the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1 on the play. Colby Humphrey with a big hit.
Colby Humphrey, he's playing corner, and he gets inside and makes the tackle behind the line of scrimmage almost. So you don't see corners dipping their nose in there like that. I mean, that's impressive. He's also a South Dakota State transfer, came along with Jimmy Rogers from the Jackrabbits. 5'11", 190-pounder out of Birmingham, Alabama. Big stop there.
Big 3rd down here. Wood looks right, scrambles, stays behind the line of scrimmage, over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Gabe Hoffman. Hoffman out of Bellevue, Washington, couldn't come up with the catch.
Great job of the defensive players staying in their zones and having great eye integrity. When I say eye integrity, they are not fooled by one thing and go somewhere where they're not supposed to be. They stayed within their zones, so someone was right there behind the defender if the pass was overthrown. Great job by the defense, and big stop after a bad punt that put them in a bad situation.
L.J. Harm again to punt. And fair catch called for at the 3-yard line. Ryan, you shake your head on that one.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake there. You don't necessarily take it inside the 5, but we'll see what Washington State does when they come back.
You're watching CW Football Saturday, presented by Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl, starting at $13.99 now with spicy 3-meat sauce, and by Royal Caribbean. Come seek. So it's been a defensive start to this game, and now once again the Cougars are pinned deep in their own territory. See if they can work their way out. And a flag before the snap.
Still first down.
It'd be impressive if somebody could go the length of the field here, and they're almost going to get that opportunity.
Yeah, you know, a punt returner will have to learn that you can't use it. For us, it used to be the 10-yard line. You put your heels on the 10 and you don't back up there at all. Good job.
Throw over the left side and incomplete. Josh Meredith, the intended receiver.
Taking a shot there. They went with a hard count. Good job. Got Idaho to jump off sides, and then great job by Jackson Potter, knowing that he had a free play to take a shot down the field. Tried for a big play.
I mentioned the size of the offensive line, and Ryan, you know this better than anyone.
Defense number 45 was in the zone snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So that'll get them out of that hole they were in. But a taller quarterback has a little better vision.
I mean,
when you got those big linemen in front of you.
It does, but this day and age where you have gap schemes, when you're even in your pass protection, it doesn't really matter. You're going to find a throwing lane. It helps, you know, if you've got people bearing down on you. I always like being 6'6", and I'm sure Jackson loves being 6'5". But you know what we do offensively in college football now, it's not a prerequisite.
Johnson, a good pickup there. Stopped by Hayden John for the Vandals.
Just short, so going to set up a third and very short. Let's see how physical you can be.
Because of the penalty.
Oh yeah, second down.
We're at second.
Now that's a good opportunity here. Watch for a little play action fake here and maybe take for a shot.
Potter surveying the defense. And a swarming defense it was for the Vandals as they stopped Johnson behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, sometimes when you have something short to pick it up, just get something straightforward instead of taking things all the way around the side. All this is a counter with so much penetration up front. There you see Dylan Lane, once again, the captain on defense, making a play in the backfield. Now the third down is set up for a little bit longer. It puts them in a much more delicate position, backed up here, and the need to get this offense going and allow the defense to take a little rest on the sideline.
Looking for almost 4 yards for the first down. Is third down for the 10-yard line. Miscommunication there, and Potter taken down. And the punt team will have to come back in once again.
Yeah, a little miscommunication, you're right. Looks like Jackson's looking for him on a little fake or draw. Instead, he takes it himself, and Isaiah King, I mean, that is a textbook tackle where you meet him in the middle, head up, boom, down to the ground. That's a ball player right there.
Big tackle for the redshirt senior, Isaiah King. Better punt here. And fair catch called for by Cummings at midfield. So the Vandals once again with great field position as they will start at midfield. Still scoreless here with 2:46 to go in the first quarter. We are still scoreless here in Pullman, Washington. Tuesday on NXT, Ricky Saints, Obafemi, and the tag team Hank and Tank team up to take on Dark State in an 8-man tag team match. But as tensions rise, will alliances fall? Catch an all-new NXT Tuesday at 8/7 Central. Vandals lined up again at midfield. This time it's Art Williams, the ball carrier, and he'll work all his way to a 7-yard gain. All right, let's take a look at the Pacific Life replay.
Jackson Potter and Angel Johnson just had a little confusion in the backfield, and Potter takes it on his own, but Isaiah King has some other ideas, and he plants them into the Giza Field turf.
That's Pacific Life, nearly 160 years strong, with financial strategies for a more confident future. 2nd and 3. Here's the scramble. Wood all the way out to the 30-yard line.
Talking with Thomas Ford Jr., this is what he wanted to see from his young quarterback. When he got back and set up in his first read, or maybe his second, it wasn't there, was to use those legs. Great job on his part. Ball fake, feels a little pressure, and then just uses his eyes, makes a miss, and gets a big first down. There's a chance at a big play, but of course, when you're getting rushed by a defender, you always move to it. Nigel, I want to ask you something. You were an FCS head football coach. What is it like preparing for games like this, going into a Division I level stadium and making sure you're competitive, but knowing you want to stay healthy?
You know, Ryan, honestly, it's the same as every other week. Now, when we played against Chip Kelly and that team played a national championship game, that one felt a little different. But other than that, you know, you go into these things thinking you have a chance. We had a chance to beat Cal, had a chance to beat TCU, so you go at it like every other week.
You know, growing up in Montana, it was Montana State and the University of Montana, so the FCS was all we knew. And when they got opportunities like that, I remember when Montana went out and played Oregon and played them so tough. Last year, Montana State goes down and beats New Mexico State. Tarleton State yesterday takes down Army after having the year that they have. So it's you know, David versus Goliath, but it's also an understanding of what it is as a head coach, right? You are getting a giant payday, which is going to help sustain your budget, and then you want to be as healthy as possible when you go into your regular season within your conference.
And these kids on either side of the ball, they don't care if it's FBS or FCS. They care about the other kid on the other side that's lining up against them, and they're going to see who the tougher kid is.
Well, you can find out pretty quick, like the Bobcats of Montana State did versus Oregon today. But Idaho is really showing the part right now and threatening here late in the first quarter.
Williams running back. He'll get the handoff again over the right side and makes a tackler miss. And just over the 30-yard line to the 29. So once again, the Vandals have some momentum. Quick pass out to the flat. And this time it's Emerson Cortez Menjivar with the reception.
You know what I've been really impressed. You know what I've been really impressed with how they've swarmed to the football. I mean, they haven't allowed a big play. They've kept everything in front of them, and everybody's running towards the ball. And that's exactly what Jesse Bobbitt, the defensive coordinator, wanted to see. He wanted all 11 guys around the football, and when you do that, you become opportunistic. You get arms in there, you knock a ball out, and you're around when a turnover happens.
Spread set. Wood looks right. and can't hit. His running back out of the backfield there, Art Williams, the intended receiver.
When you go empty, you're near quarterback. You have to know if they bring a sixth guy, you're hot off him. And he realized that. Josh Wood did as he throws the ball away. Caleb Francil is the one that gets in there, and just a great job of staying low, putting a little pressure, and then putting the young quarterback on his back to make sure he knows he was there.
44-yard attempt here for Cameron Pope. And he misses that one wide left. Had enough leg, just not the right direction.
Nope, got a little pull there, and this Washington State offense now has to respond. The defense has done a tremendous job. The field position has been terrible for them as a defense. They've backed it up, got them off the field, and kept them scoreless. Now it's Jackson Potter's time to make a difference, extend the drive, keep that defense off the field, and allow them to get a little bit of a rest and put some points on the board.
Potter brings his squad back out, 3 wide receivers right. It's like Kirby Voorhees in the backfield now for the Cougars. He'll get the pass in the flat, and motor churns for about 4. Great, thank you. That'll do it for quarter number 1. Scoreless here at Giesa Field in Pullman, Washington. Well, the start of the season always brings up emotions, and so far it has been the defense that has been the strongest.
Well, Coach, first quarter in the books. What are your thoughts so far?
We got to get out of being backed up. Our defense is doing a great job, but we got to get in sequence here on offense and make something happen. A couple of these plays, there's just a lack of communication and then mishaps at the offensive line.
You know, Jackson Potter in this offense trying to get them going. What are your thoughts? How do you get him going and shows that arm talent that we talked about earlier?
Well, you're going to see it here in a second.
Well, you heard it here from Coach. See it in a second.
Their average starting position has been the 18-yard line. So this is great starting position here for the Cougars as we get underway with the second quarter.
Pre-snap penalties, timeouts coming out of commercial breaks. This is, you know, first game jitters for everybody, but you'd hope, as things usually happen, defenses are usually ones that get to pin their ears back and kind of just go with emotion. Offensive side of things, more of a focused side of things, and that's where more problems can come out of it.
Look at how impressive Idaho has been already. 59 total yards in the first quarter for the Vandals. Well, the iconic TV franchise is joining the CW with a brand new series, Law & Order Toronto, Criminal Intent. The same team that brought you the original series of ripped from the headlines cases, this time in a new city and on a new network. Law & Order Toronto, Criminal Intent, series premiere Wednesday, September 24th, right here on the CW.
See, it's criminal intent because everybody's so polite up there, just going to say sorry before something actually happens.
Sorry.
So.
Over the middle, complete. Jeremiah Noga.
Noga, the transfer from Oregon State a year ago, really come in as a professional, the way he practices. But there's the first opportunity. Jackson Potter with the RPO game. They've run the ball so many times in the first quarter. That time he pulls it after the linebacker dives. Wide open receiver on a slant, and he put it right on him.
You know, Ryan, one of the things you were talking about before, how Idaho was making those tackles for a loss. Their linebackers have been super aggressive. That's the play I was looking for, play action right over the top of them.
Potter was looking for his running back, but he connects downfield. Tony Freeman with the reception and the first down for the Cougars.
Will Cornelson, the linebacker for Idaho, he was running as he takes the dive, but as he runs, watch as he turns, his back is to the wide receiver, and Jackson can see that, and he puts it right to the guy, Noga, as he catches the ball coming across the field. Great job of knowing that the linebacker had no chance to turn his head around and that ball could be thrown behind his shoulder.
Potter again connects this time with Josh Meredith. And into the red zone, the Cougars go.
Josh Meredith, of course, has been the leader of these wide receivers. We're going to go a little up tempo now after another big completion and first down.
Quick handoff to Voorhees, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Picking things up for Danny Freund, the offensive coordinator, trying to catch him off guard.
Well, you like to hear this crowd. They got a heavy contingent of Idaho Vandals fans here. Got a little "Let's Go Vandals" chant going.
Potter looking right, man wide open. Leon Neal Jr. with the catch, and he'll go out of bounds. Still going to spot it at the 4-yard line.
This is just a good job by Jackson Potter, noticing the blitz coming right to his face. They do a great job of shifting the protection to his left, which allows him to see the guy coming in his face, gets the ball out, man-to-man coverage, perfectly thrown where he can catch it and then turn and get towards the goal line.
Still brings up 3rd and 1. They can get a first down here. And that Vandal defensive line breaking through once again.
I mean, if you're going to run zone read, you have to give the quarterback the opportunity to pull it there. I have a big question, and Nigel might be a good person to ask this, especially having been a head coach, but you have a young quarterback. Sometimes the offensive play call comes in where it says give or pull, and you're not really giving the young quarterback the opportunity to pull there when the end drives.
Yeah, Ryan, I actually think that was a read option, and it's actually the second one that he's misread. He had 2 opportunities. We'll see what he does here on 4th down.
Potter into the end zone. Touchdown! Josh Meredith, the first to put the Cougars on the board in 2025.
This is incredibly impressive because he's a right-handed quarterback, and he is asked to roll to his left, which is awfully difficult. You have to flip your hips.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct for targeting the AD offense. His first and 10. That penalty will be enforced on the ensuing pickup.
A little bit of excitement there as Jack Stevens comes in for the point after. Kick is good, and the Cougars lead it 7-0.
Jackson Potter, welcome to the club, kid. First touchdown pass as a Washington State Cougar. What a throw rolling to his left. Cougars up 7-0.
Washington State first to put numbers on the board as they lead 7-0. So we have 11:30 to go till the half. Let's take a look at the Pacific Life replay.
This is all about Jackson Potter. Little play action RPO. He puts it on the money. 6 for 6 on this drive for 75 yards and the touchdown. Great job of finding that linebacker with his back turned, and then here finds Meredith crossing. What a dart to the outside. Picks up another first down. And, of course, the touchdown rolling to his left. That's one of the most difficult throws for a right-handed quarterback, and he puts it right on the money to his favorite receiver, Josh Meredith, for the touchdown. At least he was honest. Jimmy Rogers, at least he was honest to our own Nigel Burton when he said, "You're about to see," as they throw it 6 times, 6 for 6 for 75 yards and a touchdown. Way to dig in. Way to get that honesty from the head coach, Nigel. Well done.
Cougars kicking it away. And this one's going to be received at the 5-yard line. You're watching CW Football Saturday, presented by Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl, starting at $13.99. Now with spicy 3-meat sauce.
I'd like to know who's receiving the kick.
Now we'll see if the Cougar defense can step it up and stop the little bit of momentum that the Vandals have had on offense.
Well, they've been dominant. I feel like the only reason that Washington State's been in this game is because of this defense getting the stops that they needed.
Cummings the ball carrier, and he'll get 1 on that one.
And this is what I was interested in seeing, and for all the fans out there that are Cougar fans, I've been watching that wide open offense of Mike Leach, Nick Rolovich, and then with Ben Arbuckle over the last couple years. This was going to be a little different, right? But what they did show there on that last drive with Jackson Potter was, it looks like this kid likes to throw the football, and you better give him a chance to do it.
2nd and 9, Cummings in the backfield. Wood under pressure, scrambles again. Breaks a tackle and muscles his way to the 42-yard line, but the ball comes out. Fumble on the play, and it looks like the Cougars have got it.
Wasn't so much that it came out.
Knocked out.
It got taken away. Great job by this defense. And this is what Coach Bobbitt talked about being around the football. All 11 hats, and that's the reason where Ram Stevenson was the guy just cleaning up stuff as he was following the play, trying to be in on the tackle.
Wood trying to get everything he could, but as he was going down, the ball gets stripped. Out it comes, and Ram Stevenson recovers. Another turnover, and Washington State has the ball once again, 7-0. Take another look at how they got this turnover.
Great job of everybody scrambling towards the ball. Big hit, and then bounces right into the arms of Ram Stevenson. And if he wasn't near the player, if he wasn't rallying to the ball, that wouldn't have been possible. Great job, fundamentals, and that's when something happens, just like we talked about.
And so the Cougars will start on the Vandals 45. Angel Johnson up the middle for about 2.
Nigel, that play there, and we listened to Coach Bobbitt yesterday talk about the rallying to the football, get all hats to it. If they're not all rallying there, that ball doesn't get turned over right into the arms of Stevenson.
No, you're absolutely right. But I'm going to be honest with you, kids at home, you know what really caused that fumble? The arm sleeve. I tell all those guys, by Tao, who's now the running backs coach at the University of Nevada, I said, you better get rid of that thing. You got no contact to be able to fill that ball. Get rid of the arm sleeves. They look cool, but they cause fumbles.
You hear that, kids? All flag football kids that are running around with their sleeves. This is going to...
Wide open was Josh Meredith, but that one thrown a little bit too high.
Hey, listen, sometimes when you got a line wide open, it's probably one of the most difficult throws to make. You almost are guiding the ball just a little bit. Yeah, it flutters on him just enough, and instead of a touchdown number 2 for Jackson Potter, he's screaming at himself in the huddle back there. as he calls the next play.
That'll bring up 3rd and 8 from 43-yard line. Johnson still in the backfield. Potter surveying, under pressure, throws it quickly. Ganashamorthy was the intended receiver. A lot of pressure that time from the outside for the Vandals.
Yeah, they brought it, but they brought it from depth, and Jackson would have had more time if he just sat a little longer and probably been more accurate with that throw to the outside. He rushed it and, of course, short-armed it a bit, and it fell short of his receiver there on 3rd down.
Field position here has him going for it on 4th.
He's going to punt.
Nope. Quick punt.
He might have touched that Idaho Vandal right there.
It looked like he reached up as the ball was going over him, but they'll recover it, and they're going to start on the 3-yard line.
You know, when you're in safe protection there, you never quite know what the team's going to do, having not been there in the first place. This time a big mistake. I don't know if he thinks he touches it, but it now sets up Washington State 7-0.
Tom.
9:25 remaining in the second quarter. Washington State leads 7-0. Here's tonight's Royal Caribbean game summary. Nigel, defense has played impressively.
Yeah, you know, Ryan's right. The defense is usually ahead of offenses earlier in the season, and obviously the staff has really talked about getting 11 hats to the football, and that's what you're seeing repeatedly as Idaho is attempting to run the ball and getting pressure on the quarterback, trying to make these new starting quarterbacks uncomfortable, and then once again swarming to the football, punching the ball out. The arm sleeve and the swag costing the Vandals the football. I'll tell you what, kids, I'm telling you, you look great, but you're going to be standing on the sideline.
What makes it even more impressive, all 11 starters on defense left the program. That was 6 transfers, 5 graduates. As coming out of the backfield, that's Hayden Kinchlow, the ball carrier.
There's just an attitude that Jimmy Rogers brings. You know, people talk about teams developing the identity of your head coach. He's got an intensity to him that you know, if you don't get to know him, you might think it's just a little off-putting. And I think the rest of the team kind of feels that, and they know that they want to represent him and his identity as best they can, and this defense certainly has tonight.
Cummings back behind Wood. He'll get the handoff off the left side, breaking tackles, and down the sideline, just a little bit short of the first down. Stepped out of bounds at the 9-yard line.
Good job. Good job. His feet and just kept pushing to the outside, and then when he got as far as he could, he put that foot down and just got as vertical as fast as he could. Almost picks up the first down, sets up a much more manageable 3rd down here. They need to get a conversion, try to find their way to get some points here in this first half.
Deepest start for the Vandals. Wood scrambling. Doesn't have a receiver to throw to, and he'll get out to almost the 15-yard line, and flags after they came out of bounds. Depending upon the flag, that would have been enough to pick up a first down.
I think it's going to be after the play, so it's going to be a first down, and then the penalty is going to be assessed after the fact. So I think it's still going to be the first down, just 1st and 12 or 15 or something like that.
Wood pleading his case right now with the officials.
After the play will go. First down, late number 3 offense. Penalties have distance to goal. Play in the zone, then a first down.
There you go.
I'm an official.
The
I'm
quarterback
an official.
with the late hit.
You know, sometimes you just gotta show your physicality. I want to take a look at this. I didn't really see what he did here, but great job of picking up the first down. He's out of bounds right here. He didn't like that Francel was hanging on the back of his leg there a little bit, twisting it, and he gave him a shove right in the back, right in front of the official, and that can't happen. The first down counts. Now they're behind the sticks here for first down.
Wood with the option. Plenty of room on that left side, and almost to the 20-yard line, but a first down for Wood.
I don't know if you'll believe this or not, but in high school we ran the veer, so I would have loved to have seen Joshua Wood right there at the end pitch it to his running back, because he has a chance to take it the rest of the way. But he's in full runner mode now. He's tucked the ball away. He's no longer looking for his pitch man.
Wood scrambling right. Plenty of pressure on him, and he'll be brought down at the 21-yard line.
I'm just incredibly impressed. Just so impressed with them continuously to go after the football. Nigel, as a defensive-minded coach, how do you get that mindset that everybody goes to the football? Because you have guys on the other side of the field that are still running towards that football, and that's a big reason why they've had so much success tonight.
Well, Jimmy Rogers told us in our meeting, up downs are a big motivator. They pick 6 random plays, and if in those 6 plays all the players are running the football, the coaches will do up downs. So up downs, big motivator for pursuit to the football.
They've been doing it tonight. This pass complete right at the first down marker. Jezziaro.
Yes, they're going to get him.
And they're going to say it was enough for the first down. So a little bit of momentum here for the Vandals.
Well, you know what? This has kind of been what they've done all game, right? And this was something that Jesse Bobbitt, defensive coordinator, talked to us about. He said, I don't like the idea of bend but don't break mentality, but if we keep everything in front of us, I feel like we're going to tackle. We're going to cause them to make some mistakes, make them go the length of the field. And that's kind of what they've shown so far. They've had some good plays on offense, but nothing big, nothing explosive.
And another completion. Jezziaro, this time the receiver, Colby Humphrey, on the coverage.
This is a great throw. I mean, he has really shown his arm strength. This is from the opposite hash. He throws it all the way to the sideline once again, puts it perfectly over the linebacker and underneath the corner to his big wide receiver, Jezziaro, and another first down.
They continue to move the sticks. Art Williams in the backfield this time for the Vandals. Wood a little bit of pressure, but gets the ball out to Williams. Colby Humphrey with the big hit, taking him out of bounds.
I tell you what, he's a physical corner, and you love to see that. And I would expect nothing less than from a Jimmy Rogers coach defense. You better be physical out on the perimeter, or you're not going to be out there playing. And Colby Humphrey follows his coach from South Dakota State, and again, for the second time tonight, puts a big hit on an Idaho Vandal.
Mike Banks said physicality and speed are the 2 things that Colby Humphrey brings every single play. Delayed handoff up the middle. Art Williams on the gain. Be a yard short.
A little interesting here. Joshua Wood rides that all the way from, I don't know, 4 yards in the backfield to almost to the line of scrimmage. Great job. Doesn't allow the defender to commit to what he's doing, and they pick up a few big yards and sets up a very manageable 3rd and 1 here for the Vandals with only 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half.
10th play of the drive here for the Vandals. Another first down. Hayden Kinchlow, the ball carrier this time.
You know, one thing that Idaho is doing a nice job in the run game, watch their offensive line. What they're trying to do is create as many double teams as they can, forcing the linebackers from Washington State are playing just a step slow downhill, and that's what's creating these creases. Double team, waiting for the linebacker to show up and then coming off. If the Coug linebackers show up faster, they can get those double teams off the D linemen.
8 total first downs so far for Idaho, 5 on this drive. This time it's Williams, the ball carrier, off the left side. Maybe a gain of 1.
Anthony Polano, middle linebacker, he's been fast tonight. Really good job of recognizing the play, and then he scrapes along the line of scrimmage and gets his man to the ground. This linebacker core, 2 of which transferred from South Dakota State. They've been a big part of what this defense has needed, and Parker McKenna, as the other linebacker, makes for a very formidable defense.
75 new players for the Cougars this season, as we see Wood hit hard in the backfield, and a flag comes out late.
They can't be calling targeting on that, can they?
I think preliminary was face mask.
Okay.
During the run. Personal foul. Face mask, number 58 defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
There, the second hand. He had him good. He kind of got him from the backside of the helmet, but as he was trying to get away and backpedal, he reaches out that right hand and just grabs him, that big old mitt full of face mask of Joshua Wood.
Correction, the player was number 998.
Malaki Ta'ase.
Say that again.
Malaki Ta'ase. Just keep asking.
Yeah.
Closing in on the 2-minute timeout. And there it is. Stay tuned for the final 2 minutes of the half, presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
And we're in the final 2 minutes of the half. It's time for the 2-minute drill presented by the Active Cash Credit Card from Wells Fargo. Be a 2%er, earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. Vandals with an opportunity. Try to get on the board for a half.
This is definitely their best drive of the half. They have 9 total first downs so far in this first half, 6 of which have come on this drive.
Wood has Cummings behind him in the backfield. Cummings out wide left and still digging, but flag on the play.
Yeah, he got to the outside. That sure means that there's probably offensive holding.
Holding. Offense number 33. 10-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Sure enough, that'll push them back. Stay tuned for today's halftime show presented by Liberty Mutual. Only pay for what you need.
You think we'll get to meet the Emu?
Is there a possibility that he's driving one of the cars in the Xfinity race?
No, the Emu.
I know, that's what I'm asking. Have you not seen where he's been in the limo? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Limu,
or maybe we'll be on
Emu.
Maybe on NXT.
Possibly.
There we go.
First and 20. Wood looking over the middle. Wide open. And we'll see if that's called a catch. Michael Graves looks like he caught the ball and then fumbled. And now the Cougars are saying they've got it.
Yeah, this is going to be iffy. You're going to probably have to check this on replay. Great throw, keeps it underneath the corner over the linebacker.
Ruling on the field is a catch and a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Washington State.
I don't know if he's going to have taken enough steps to that, because he catches it, and as he turns,
does he ever have control of it?
I don't feel like he's necessarily ever had control of the ball, so I would suspect that this is going to be overturned after review, because I don't think he ever had control of the ball. Great job by the defender pulling at it as he turned, just enough to kind of keep it on his hip, and it kind of bobbled as he ran.
The catch and the fumble is now under review.
I already got it for you, so we don't have to take this time if you'd like. Nigel?
Well, Nigel, what'd you see?
Yeah, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not a referee, but I play one on television. And I'm going to agree with you, Ryan. I don't believe that there was possession there. So we're going to go back to the previous line of scrimmage, and it will be second down and 20. So the ball is continuing to move. There's no securing the football. I know you might say it's a football move, but that sucker's still moving.
Yeah, it never really has any. Great job by the defender of reaching at it. I guess, you know, to be optimistic about it, if you're a Washington State Cougar, you got the ball back, but the young man did his job, and he ripped at the ball, and he got it away doing his job the way he's supposed to.
Yeah, and by the way, I know we got all this football stuff going on, but how have you not seen the Limu Emu commercial in the limo? Like, come on, man.
Well, I don't watch a lot of regular TV with the 20-month-old. You know, it's mostly bubble guppies right now.
See, this is what happens. He's blaming his child.
Hey,
all right?
That's why you have kids sometimes.
I thought this whole time I thought they were just free labor, but all right, there you go.
Yeah. This is going to be overturned. Great job on the defensive side. Tucker Large, he's the one that got over there and made the play. Just ripped enough to get it out.
The receiver never did control the ball completely. The ruling on the field is changed to an incomplete pass. Will be second down at the 41-yard line.
So bittersweet is the way we'll categorize that, Rick.
I would say great defensive play.
Great defensive play, Tucker Large.
Yep.
That's a great name, too, by the way.
Tucker Large.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Coaches say one of the best players on the team.
Yeah.
Overall.
Leaders. Won himself a national championship in Brookings. Came with Jimmy Rogers, and immediately everybody figured out pretty quickly that this young man can play that position and play it well.
Voted a captain. And so with the incompletion, it's 2nd and 20. Cummings in the backfield. Wood's going to look right. Throws it out into the flat, but over the head of his tight end. Jesse Arrow, wide receiver, actually was the intended receiver.
He's as big as a tight end, so I get it. He's wearing 89.
He did look big.
Yeah. The defensive side of the ball for Washington State, especially in these situations where you got a 3rd and 18, they do a really good job of creating that umbrella, you know, keeping everything in front of them, not being able to get beat deep, and so they can rally and make a tackle before the first down, try to get this Idaho Vandals offense off the field, at least to keep them out of field goal range as well.
They're trying to get to the 23-yard line, so it's actually 3rd and 18. Hand off to Cummings, and he'll get nothing. As a matter of fact, lose 2 yards. Now this defense is swarming.
Yeah, Bryson Lamb, he just pushes and pushes and pushes, and then takes his
their second of the half.
308 pounds and just kind of sumo wrestles him to the ground.
Well, you're watching CW Football Saturday, presented by Pacific Life. Nearly 160 years strong, with financial strategies for a more confident future.
big play because it makes it 4th and forever. Now it allows Washington State to take that timeout, accept a punt, and then possibly utilize Jackson Potter in a 2-minute drill, if anything, to give him some experience with that going into the season.
Just give him the reps. Minute 24 still to go in the half. Another good punt. And the fair catch called for at the 10.
All right, a minute 18. 1 timeout. If I'm the offensive coordinator, Danny Freund, I am simply telling him, don't take any chances. Careful with the football. You have plenty of time. Take what they give you and march down the field.
Still a really close ball game. It's 7-0. And we've seen flashes of greatness out of the Vandals. Idaho has been able to move the ball, so they will have to try to move this down the field. A 90-yard drive is what they're looking for.
Well, they were kicking almost 55-yard field goals in warm-up, so I think if they can get to probably around the 37, that puts them in field goal range here before halftime.
Looks like Idaho's going to call timeout.
Idaho. Second of the half. This will be a 30-second time.
Not optimal. Pretty much a wasted timeout there.
So the redshirt sophomore, Jackson Potter, he's got 90 yards in front of him. As his coach, what are you telling him?
Yeah, pretty much, you know, don't be risky with the football. I'm going to give you an opportunity. We're going to maybe run draw here first. If we get break one, we're going to go right to the line of scrimmage and go. If not, then we're going to look for some shots down the field and take those checkdowns. The best version of this, and it's one that I showed to my quarterbacks when I coached a bunch, and Nigel, you can chime in on this anytime. When you get depth of the defender, some of the best things on early downs is just to give those little completions, whether they're 4 or 5 yard pickups, so they can keep the ball moving.
Yeah, I want to see what coverage they run. If they go back to cover 3, look back for that throw that went to Noga for that big play earlier in the game.
This one bobbled. Tony Freeman not able to put his hands on it.
This is basketball on grass right here. It's just a wonderful job of spacing, and it's a great throw. And unfortunately, Tony Freeman isn't able to wrap it up and pick up probably what would have been a first down.
Incompletion stops the clock. 1:13 still to go. Voorhees lines up, and this time a completion to Freeman.
Exactly the same play. Exactly the same shell of the defense, and he put it perfectly on his body that time and picks up the first down.
Voorhees out of the backfield, and he'll be targeted and get the catch as he dives out at the 25-yard line.
This is incredibly impressive. If you are a quarterback nerd like I am, he goes to his right looking for his first and second read, and then immediately to his left, and he knows where Voorhees is going to be. Again, another throw to his left from a right-handed quarterback, and he puts it perfectly on the money, and they pick up a few yards and get out of bounds.
Coaches say Voorhees, pound for pound, one of the best players on this team. Wood throwing across to the right side, and he'll complete it to Jeremiah Noga.
This is another timing route, simple from one hash mark again to the outside numbers, and he puts it right on the money. It's a speed out, so it's a timed out pattern. Jackson takes 2 steps, sets his foot, lets it go. Noga flips his head, and it's perfectly thrown. Great job putting it right on the money. Little bobble there. He gets out of bounds, though, and stops the clock.
51 seconds now. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line.
Plenty of time in college football.
Voorhees still in the backfield. Wood throwing this one into row 4 of the grandstands.
Good job by Potter. He got outside the pocket, felt the pressure, knew the best thing to do was airmail it out of bounds there. He was outside, so there wasn't going to be any intentional grounding, and
Idaho's captain, Zach Krotzer, was the one putting the pressure on him. Brings up 2nd and 10. Angel Johnson in the backfield. A little bit of movement there before the snap. That's the other thing that you've got to learn as a team that's still trying to find their chemistry, is that discipline.
Well, I think the officials are talking about, I think the defensive side of the football may have said something, and we talked about this when the officials were talking to us about the new rules. And
after discussion, there is no foul on the way. It will be second down.
So what did you throw a flag for?
They picked it up.
I know. Why would you do that if there's no foul on the play?
Sometimes people make mistakes, Ryan.
You're telling me, pal.
46 seconds still to go in the half. Wood drops back quickly, tries to get it to Johnson, but that one's incomplete. And he was swarmed anyway by the Vandals.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass, 3rd down. Intended for Angel Johnson, number 1.
Potter out to the flat and completion to Freeman. Freeman fighting for the 1st down.
Tremendous job on 3rd down. This is more or less just trying to get a play.
And he'll dive over midfield.
The quarterback, Jackson Potter.
I really thought they had picked up the 1st down there. Tony did. He must have stepped out of bounds on that 3rd down play.
To be a 30-second timeout.
All right, now they're in midfield. Now this is a perfect opportunity for the young quarterback, without any timeouts left, to know the understanding of the rules in college football, right? 1st down stops the clock. You're able to get up and spike it. It allows for more time than the NFL rules. So with field goal range within their grasp, I think they were kicking it from anywhere from 50 to 55 yards is where his leg was really allowing him to down there. No real wind blowing. If they get or pick up a 1st down here, I think that puts them in that position. Pick up a 1st down, get to the line of scrimmage, spike the ball, and then the decision will be made by Jimmy Rogers and his staff.
Yeah, we saw Jack Stevens warming up, making 50-yarders. And again, 28 seconds left on the clock. No timeouts remaining for the Cougars. Wood throwing downfield, and it was Leighton Smithson. Smithson, the intended. Potter once again.
You know, Potter pump fakes to his right, and Nigel pointed out something to me a little earlier, and I'd love his comment on this. As he pump fakes, his feet don't necessarily reset almost, and he's a little wide apart at the base, which allows him maybe not to be as accurate as earlier. Nigel?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ryan. On that earlier play where he overthrew, he just didn't reset, so he had his wide base. That's why the ball floated. He tried to reset there, but still was a little wide on the throw.
Potter drops back, looking right now, scrambling. Has a receiver, and this one, they're fighting for the ball.
Tie goes to the receiver.
Tie goes to the offense.
This is an offensive world.
More importantly, that clock is still ticking.
Once they say it's a completion.
The other thing, Ryan, I think it might be an issue. It looked like Jackson Potter had just crossed the line of scrimmage. Now the rule is if you have any part of your body still behind the line of scrimmage.
Line of scrimmage, 49-yard line.
Yeah, so it does not matter if where the ball is, if he has a foot across the line, if he has any part of his body behind the 49-yard line.
This will be a good view of it too. Great job of him of stepping up in the pocket. I thought he was going to probably run here, but then, yeah, he's going to be beyond the line of scrimmage there. I don't see any sort of body part, a shoelace, an ankle
He might have dropped some gum back there, Ryan. You never know.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a DNA check on that to make sure it's his, though. That's just going to take too long these days. Good job. You know, he's a young quarterback, first start, and first off, I don't think that was probably the proper throw you need to make because you put it in harm's way. And then you get to the line of scrimmage. That would have been a great opportunity for him to tuck it, try to pick up as much as he could there, and then give them a chance maybe at a field goal opportunity.
You know, one thing too, Ryan, you hit the nail on the head with the college game and the rules being different. You'll see all these defenses will roll to cover two, really protect the sideline like they're in the NFL. I always loved my offense to try to hit those deeper plays over the middle because you have those big windows, easier throws. So it'll be interesting to see how the Cougs try to attack this last 11 seconds.
Well, they're going to be backed up pretty much here with the penalty, I'm assuming. After this review, this is a good look. We got a line there. No. By the time he lets it go, that right foot kind of swings by, I feel like.
The quarterback was completely beyond the line of scrimmage when he passed the ball. This is a foul on an illegal forward pass. It carries a 5-yard penalty and allows them down. It will be third down, Washington State. There is also a 10-second runoff on this. Please reset the game clock to 6 seconds. And it will start on my signal.
That's important to understand, everybody, too. It will start on his signal. So they have to be ready to snap the ball when he does that.
Now, I'm not exactly a lip reader, but I believe that Coach Rogers just said we're good. So I think they're just going to take a knee and call this for half.
Let the kid show his arm strength, throw one into the end zone.
I mean, that's what I would ask my coach for, but I'm also, you know, not Jackson Potter, my first start. I'm not going to look at my new head coach and say, Coach, show something here, all right? Though that was exactly something I probably would have done to Coach Price.
Jackson Potter started this game with 2 passes, 2 completions before this season. And so now for a career, he's attempted 18 passes and completed 13 of those. He's 11 for 16 today. 117 yards already through the air with a touchdown. Pretty impressive first half for Jackson Potter.
After further review, the play was not over until 11 seconds left in the half. Therefore, the clock will be set to 1 second, and it will start on my signal.
I mean, I think the play was over a long time before 11 seconds, but I digress. It's not really going to allow them to do anything but take a knee here anyway or let the clock run out.
So the first half, with a second left to go, has the Cougars up 7-0. They'll come out to the ball. Well, coach calls them back. If it goes on the clock, the official signal, do they even have to line up?
Yeah, it depends on when he winds it. I would assume it's
when they're in position.
Yeah, so they don't have to do anything, I would assume. Yeah,
they wind the clock.
Don't do anything.
And that will end the half.
That is halftime.
Cougars starting off the 2025 season with a 7-0 lead over the Vandals. Young Jackson Potter has a touchdown pass to start his career with Washington State. It was Josh Meredith that was on the receiving end. Cougs will get the kickoff on the other side of the half. And the Jimmy Rogers era is underway as they lead 7-0 before we start the second half. And you know, Jimmy Rogers has brought in an air to this area of Pullman, Washington, almost rock star-ish as far as what he's been able to do at South Dakota State. They want to see that here in Pullman, Washington. When I say rock star-ish, what a schedule they have. It's almost like a rock tour that the Cougars are going to be on. They travel to North Texas. How about the trips to Mississippi and Virginia?
Yeah, and back-to-back weeks, too. I asked Coach Rogers if they thought about actually staying out east. They aren't going to send the truck and leave it out there, but they are going to come back and head back. They also have to go to James Madison, which is back in Virginia late in the year before they repeat playing Oregon State for the second time there in that last month.
Getting ready to start the second half. The Cougars will receive. Back deep, Leighton Smithson. Potter getting congratulations before he goes out on the field to start the second half. Pretty poised for that young man.
Yeah, and the coaches were, said that he seemed a little nervous, like anybody should be. The first time you're going to be a starting quarterback at the Division I level, and so I thought he settled down pretty quickly. Especially I think Jimmy Rogers walked over to his offensive coordinator, Danny Freund, and said, "Hey, I think it's time to take the handcuffs off a little bit." And sure enough, he goes 6 for 6 on that drive for that touchdown.
And that kick through the end zone. Closed captioning for today's game brought to you by Varro, the bank that puts money in your pocket. So Potter making his way back out onto the field. Already putting up some pretty impressive numbers in the first half for the redshirt sophomore. 12 of 18, 118 yards and a touchdown in the first half. In the shotgun with 4 receivers out to his right. Johnson goes back to join him. Potter handing off to Johnson, and Isaiah King wasn't fooled.
No, and that's the second time we've seen that. Nigel talked about it earlier. That's the third missed read then on a zone read, if that's actually his call. I don't think it is. I actually think that Danny Freund is probably telling him to give on those right now and not making him necessarily read that end, and they've absolutely messed it up both 3 times.
6-yard tackle for loss. And this time Potter's going to go to the air. Hits his receiver, Jeremiah Noga.
They like having that little simultaneous catch thing going, right? They've been doing that a couple times now. This is just double slants. He lets the guy cross behind him and then puts the ball right on the money to Noga. Great defensive play, and unfortunately, defenders, you get 49% of the equation while you get 49% of the equation while the
third and just over 10. Potter releases once again, and not enough for the first down. Noga again, the receiver. Matt Irwin bringing him down.
Idaho, good job of playing that zone coverage, keeping everything in front of them and making Potter hit the check down with the crosser underneath, and then rallying to make the tackle, keeping him short of the first down. pressure really wasn't an issue. They hit him a little bit after the play is done, but you know, just great coverage, keeping everything in front of them and causing a 3-and-out, and the ball coming to him on offense.
Cummings deep for this punt, and he's going to let it bounce, and it takes a Vandal bounce. The Cougars are able to down it, and it looks like the Vandals will start at the 47-yard line.
Multiple flags, though.
During the
25-yard.
kick, holding, number 42, receiving feet. The 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down.
So the 25-yard punt goes to a 35-yard punt after the penalty. And the Vandals will have the ball for this second half to see if they can put points on the board. You're watching CW Football Saturday, presented by Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl, starting at $13.99 now with spicy 3-meat sauce. And it's been a pretty busy day for new WSU president, Dr. Betsy Cantwell. She started her morning off in Columbus, Ohio at College Game Day, and I think you were there to say not so fast Elite Corso. Is that how that started your day?
That was a bit of it, yes, it was a bit of it. That was, look at that, that was such a rockin' good time. It was the folks supporting WSU up in Columbus were the best team ever.
Minutes, 52 seconds
okay, so in the 135-year history of this school, you're the 12th president. You come from Utah State. I know you've been very instrumental in the reforming of the Pac-12 conference.
Yeah, so three things probably. Pac-12, new Pac-12 is not like old Pac-12. We got to get that past everybody. Second thing, it's going to be incredibly exciting, and they're going to be paying attention to us because we did reform the Pac-12 and doing something that no one else has done. And the third is that everybody that's coming in is hungry, and we are going to have amazing, the competitiveness is actually going to draw a lot of attention.
Well, I think a lot of people don't fully understand when Washington State and Oregon State got left for dead, they were never going to look somewhere else for another conference because of what the Pac-12 brand avails itself as.
Absolutely.
And sure enough,
that's so true.
When this starts next year, Boise State, the likes of Oregon State and Washington State in particular, are going to have a better chance to go to the college football playoff every single year than they ever did in the old Pac-12.
I think that's true, and I also think, don't underestimate anybody, but we, Washington State University, are very lucky to be able to carry our amazing brand and the Pac-12 brand forward together to continue to do that. And I hope everybody understands what a genius effort it was to make that happen.
Teresa Gould,
yep, doing a great job with that.
That's what we're talking about, genius.
Pac-12 commissioner.
She is amazing. I will just say that.
Dr. Cantwell, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And how about this? You actually started the day off raising the flag.
Here, yes, this was my second flag raising.
Yes.
I raised the flag in the morning, and I raised it here. And that's my buddy, Tom.
Tom's been doing this for a long time.
Oh, he is awesome. He is so awesome.
Well, a busy day for you.
And I'm really pleased to be here. I was excited for my first football game. I love football season, so and thanks for letting me just evangelize what the Pac-12 is going to be like.
Welcome to Pullman.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Being a Cougar is a pretty special thing. It's the best thing I ever did, so welcome to Pullman, and we're really glad you're here.
Thanks.
That's pretty good when Ryan Leaf welcomes you to Pullman as we see Wood getting knocked out of bounds. And again, thank you, Dr. Cantwell, for joining us. It's like a flag at the end of the play.
You didn't get your Department of Defense joke in there, though.
I wanted to throw in the fact that she has, a little history with defense. It was the Department of Defense.
Yeah. Listen. We only.
You shot me down, though. You said dad jokes.
You know what? listen, over the last couple years, Washington State has gone.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 3 offense for a non-football act. That's his first of the game. It will be 3rd down, Idaho.
Those are a couple bad mistakes so far now for Joshua Wood now. Non-football. Yeah, there's no need for it. I always when I go and talk to teams in the fall and they talk about emotions and everything like that, celebrations and stuff, I think coaches always, they want to make sure and understand these kids, they don't mind them celebrating, just don't acknowledge the other team. Right. Celebrate everything you've done, celebrate with your teammates, but don't make it about the other team, and that's what the big mistake by Joshua Wood there that cost him.
Cummings, the ball carrier. And he'll work his way almost back to the original line of scrimmage.
Again, just their inability to not try to show somebody else up. That could have cost them another 15 yards there, and they just can't seem to figure it out yet.
And so that brings up a 4th down. 4th and 13 for the Vandals. Freeman fair catches it, and the Cougars will have the ball back in their hands with the lead 7-0.
Hi, this is the San Diego chapter watching Wazoo from the tap room in sunny San Diego. We want to wish the Cougs a very successful season this year. Go Cougs!
And we appreciate Ryan White cheering on the Cougars from San Diego as we get ready for the Cougars to start their drive down at the 10-yard line.
It's a big drive here for Washington State. It's important that they, start to exert some sort of physical dominance in a game that they clearly feel like they should have.
Defense feels like there was some movement on the line.
There was. That left tackle just hiccuped a little bit.
And this one's still
71 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still 1st down.
Just lifts that left hand a little bit when they were going to shift. Enough to get him to flinch and pick up that false start.
You mentioned they've got to put something together here on a drive. I mean, we're one play away from this being a tie ball game.
Yeah, now listen, this Idaho team returned a lot of people. For the last 2 years, they went to the FCS playoffs. In both those instances, last year they won 10 games, which is the most games since 1993.
Forward progress has Angel Johnson out to the 4-yard line. Juskoyak on the stop.
What I've found to be a little fascinating on both sides of the football here is that the defensive line for Idaho has been great tonight. They've been physical, they've had lower pad, and they've limited this rushing attack of Washington State to almost no yards.
And motion again. This is going to push them back to about the 2-yard line.
False start. Number 83 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still set.
And you never know how your team's going to react. You don't know what it is like to come out from halftime after sitting. You can't really do that. Prepare your team for that. So, these are all these first game jitters, and take out that look from Jimmy Rogers. I wouldn't like to be on the receiving end of that one, I tell you.
They're on the 2-yard line. 2nd and a ton And a big run up the middle for Voorhees.
That is a big play to get him some breathing room here. Now that opens up the playbook for Danny Freund. I would probably look into a quick little RPO, try to pull one of those linebackers down or a safety down and kind of hit him right behind the ear.
3rd and 6.
12-yard pickup for Voorhees now. 3rd and 6. Voorhees still in the backfield. Potter, quick pass off to the left side. And not enough, it looked like, to get to the first down. Very close, though.
Yeah, they're going to give it to him.
On the line, so they will get that first down.
I would have liked Tony Freeman just to catch it and dive forward. Instead, he kind of tried to dance around, and that put it in a bit of jeopardy.
Defense pushed him back, but it was forward progress that got the first down.
Good throw. I would have loved to seen more of that.
Potter rolls right, looks. And a completion. Trey Lechner on the receiving end for another first down.
And this was good patience by the young quarterback. He wanted to take a shot a little bit further down the field. He saw a defender and he waits for Lechner coming all the way across the formation, leaking out of the backfield, and he puts it right on him.
Lechner's second reception, and that one for 17 yards. Quick pass out into the flat. Ganesh Morthy.
We're going to take a look at that play before one more time. And I'm going to be honest with you a little bit. I don't know if he was looking for Lechner necessarily or the guy behind him, but it worked out pretty well, and they picked up the first down.
This will be 2nd and 9 from the 38-yard line. Now we're seeing a little bit of poise out of Potter. Oh, and a fumble. Voorhees couldn't handle it initially, fell right down on it.
I feel like it's that run pass option. You know, when you're in that situation, you put the ball inside the running back's arms. You just got to be more forceful. It looked like he was trying to probably pull it, and Voorhees might have grabbed a little bit of himself. And again, first game jitters, all the things that come with that coming out of a new season, now puts him in a position behind the sticks at 3rd and 11.
Angel Johnson in the backfield with Potter. Potter had a receiver open there in Josh Meredith, but overthrew him. That's going to bring up 4th and long.
I felt like he tried to force that one in there because of the down and distance. If you're going to miss high and away where there's no chance for a turnover. And a lot of times, especially in what Jimmy Rogers talks about in terms of their philosophy, if possessions end in a kick, that's always going to keep you in the game, whether that's a punt or an extra point or a field goal.
Ryan Harris into punt again. This one takes a Cougar bounce, and it'll be down on the 13-yard line. You're watching CW Football Saturday, presented by Pacific Life. Nearly 160 years strong with financial strategies for a more confident future. 4:53 remaining in the third quarter with Washington State up 7-0. Let's take a look at the Pacific Life replay. And Nigel.
Yeah, Rick, you know, it's interesting because Joshua Woods, you talked about all the talent, the mobility, his arm strength and accuracy. But the Washington State defense is really, really frustrated and bringing pressure, causing turnovers, and then it's starting to show a little bit in some of the extracurricular activities. He's now got not one but two post-play fouls that luckily did not result in an ejection. You get two of those, you can be tossed out of the game. So young man is only a sophomore. He's got to kind of keep his head. He's got a chance to pull off a big upset if he can lead his team down the field.
Handed the ball off there to Cummings. The Pacific Life nearly 160 years strong with financial strategies for a more confident future. And again, they started on the 20-yard line. That was because the ball was actually touched by the Cougars at the 20, and so they brought the ball up to the 20 for the start for the Vandals.
You know, Nigel is exactly right. The young quarterback has given the Idaho Vandals an opportunity, but just as he takes that step forward, he takes a couple step backs with some of the behavioral things that have cost his team so far.
And the attempt at a reverse, and Menjahar not able to take advantage of actually a little forward pass, a little shovel pass to Menjahar coming across.
Great job of Ram Stevenson just setting the edge by getting up the field, and then the posse returns. It's been a long time since the Palouse had a posse. Love to hear that again.
They're swarming too.
Yeah, they are.
After the loss, 3rd and long. Wood hands to Cummings. Cummings off the left side, breaking a tackle, ball loose, and Cougars land on it. Did he have possession before he went out of bounds?
They're going to give it to him.
Kyle Peterson looks as though he dove on that one.
Moving on the field is a fumble by the offense, recovered by the defense. First down, Washington State.
Elijah Cummings, he just keeps going and going, and then just a great play to strip the football, and then Kyle Peterson jumps on top of it. It looks like he gets it and has possession. It's going to be tough to tell where the possession is under his body when that right shoulder looks like it hits the out of bounds line. But again, tremendous job of flying after the football and being around when a turnover is presented to him.
And officials are going with the play. Cougars with great field position as they'll start this drive on the 18. Julian Duggar back in quarterback for the Cougars. First snap for him tonight.
Yeah, coach talked to us a little bit about Julian Duggar getting some snaps, getting some possessions. He's young, but these coaches are very high on him. They think he has an NFL quarterback's ability. It's just a matter for him getting the reps, the understanding, and the processing ability.
Very high potential is the way the coaches continued to describe Duggar. Duggar keeps it, and he's wrapped up. Potter on the sidelines watching on.
Yeah, as a starting quarterback, I mean, your coaches discuss this with you, so you have an understanding of what it is. I didn't like it. I'm in a rhythm. I'm the leader of this team, and especially when I get the ball in a turnover like that, I want the opportunity to be a quick reaction and get a score. And sometimes like this takes you out of a rhythm, and instead now they're sitting in a tough situation on 3rd down.
Leo Pulolasi in the backfield alongside of Duggar. Duggar looks to pass. Scrambles. Has some room. Gets tripped up. Shoestring tackle.
What a play. What a play. Isaiah King once again. I mean, he has been so good tonight for Idaho. He comes all the way in, gets knocked down, chases the quarterback, a speedy one at that, and still is able to get him. What effort.
And I believe that might be King that's down right now.
It is. He put every possible effort into that to trip him up. It looked like he was grabbing at his hamstring or his calf, maybe cramping up. Hopefully that's just it, because, I mean, he's been as good for this defense all night as anybody. Hate to see him have to go to the sideline.
Good speed chasing Duggar down there. And they'll help him up as he'll walk off the field under his own power. We saw Duggar on the sidelines taking his helmet off.
Yeah, they're going to attempt the field goal here, go up 2 scores. And with the way the defense has been playing, and if you look around and you think about how Idaho has moved the ball, but every time they got inside Washington State's side of the field, that's when they tighten up, and they've had to punt from that spot the entire game. Had to punt from that spot the entire game on Washington State territory. And that's a big thing, that bend but don't break mentality that coach was talking to us about.
Redshirt freshman Jack Stevens for the 30-yarder attempt. Kick is good, and the Cougars lead it 10-0. Fastest growing cable network in all of television is News Nation. News Nation respects all Americans and is news for all Americans. To find News Nation on your screen, go to newsnationnow.com.
So I just got scolded by the 1994 defense. About 4 of them just texted me and said, you cannot say the word posse.
Palouse posse?
This quickly.
Really?
And I just said, hey, I just haven't heard it in a long time, and I'd like to see that again. And I'm telling you right now, if they pose a shutout, when's the last time that happened?
And I think Jimmy Rogers would love to resurrect the Palouse posse.
Would love to. I love those guys. They taught me how to play quarterback. I was the scout team quarterback in '94 as I redshirted, and I went up against the #1 defense the entire year. All 11 of those guys on that defense all would play professional football, and it's actually what gave me the confidence and turned me into the quarterback that I wanted to be later in my career here. So I owe them a lot. So I am sorry if I used posse too early, boys.
This kick going to Kinsley. And no return. They'll get the ball at the 25. We talk about the Battle of Palouse and how it originated back in 1894. Take a look at some of these old programs. There's one from 1941. 57.
I think Ted Robinson called that game, actually. So
if he's listening, I apologize, Ted. 64. What a tradition it has been. The last time the Vandals were able to get a win in the series was back in 2000. Cougars have won the last 10 meetings of the Battle of the Palouse. And Wood over the middle. A strike to Tony Harsty. First catch of the night for Harsty. Harsty played in 6 games last year as a freshman. Give to Art Williams, and they shut him down. Little gain there for Williams. Parker McKenna on the play.
Good job here. Parker McKenna just puts his nose down and heads right for it. His player looked like he was playing a little flag football there. Got the flag, threw it to the ground. Well done, sir.
And Jimmy Rogers, being an alumnus of South Dakota State, a linebacker, played there. He's got to love the way his linebackers fly around the field.
He does. He brought 2 of them from South Dakota State, and then you have Parker McKenna, who really has impressed these coaches. I think they stood him up there and kept him short here.
Kinchlow, the ball carrier, and it looked like Bryson Lamb on the stop. See where they spot this one. Looks like a foot short.
That is the end of the third quarter.
That'll do it for 3 quarters with the Cougars up 10-0. An impressive start for the young quarterback in Jackson Potter. You're watching CW Football Saturday, presented by Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl, starting at $13.99. Now with spicy 3-meat sauce. Let's go to Coach Nigel, who is with Coach Ford.
Coach, down 10-0. You're in the game, fourth quarter. How do you get your guys to close this out and pull off this upset?
Man, we just got to stop hurting ourselves. When you really look at this game, we've had a bunch of self-inflicted wounds, so we got to do a better job taking care of the ball and not giving them extra additional yards for free.
Good luck down the stretch, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Nigel.
Thanks, Nigel. And
here we go.
Yep, 4th and a foot. Let's see what they do. Hinchlow driving the pack, and it looks like he's going to have enough.
I mean, I tell you what, I just cannot get over when you have 4th and a foot and you line up 6 yards behind the center and have to pick up 7 yards instead of a foot.
On your own 34-yard line.
Well, I'm not so much of that, just the decision. We see it all the time. It's because these quarterbacks, they don't know how to get under center. So they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And they have to line up and be in a situation where they go from the shotgun. Luckily, they're able to pick it up and now get a new set of downs.
Cummings behind Wood, and he'll get the carry. Got a gain of 2 on that one. Running right into that defensive line.
That's Humphrey again. Colby Humphrey comes off the edge down the line and just rips him from the side. I mean, he's been maybe the most impressive guy on the defensive side of the football so far tonight.
Second and 8.
Watch him come out from nowhere and just, that's your corner. I mean, he diagnoses its run and he's gone.
Wood scrambling, breaks the tackle, and out to the 45-yard line, just short of the first down. Parker McKenna on the stop.
I mean, it's a tough deal to, in a full-day sucker, keeping someone like Joshua Wood in front of you. He's got some legs. They've been able to do it. He's been able to pick up some yards here or there. But once again, Washington State's in a situation where they're making him go 3 downs to try to get these first downs, you know, to execute it. They've been really good about it, make him earn everything so far today.
Fake to Kinchlow, and Wood's going to keep it. And penalty flag late after he got enough for the first down, but we'll see what the call will be.
It's kind of a late flag, too. Washington State got really lucky because this is the first time he's pulled it on a zone read. And if he got outside, there was no one behind him. And he could have gone all the way for a touchdown that would have brought him within 1 possession.
After discussion, there is no foul on the play. The block in question was ruled to be a legal block. First down.
They picked the flag up again.
Jimmy wants to know what that was all about. Great job. I mean, what I assume they were looking at was a block in the back by 67.
Tyler Skinner.
And sure looks like a block in the back to me. So, I mean, what you saw is what you got there, it feels like, if you're the linesman. And great read by Joshua Wood there to pull the rock and tote it for a first down. And Washington State once again are in a put up or shut up situation.
From the 45, Wood throwing over his receiver once again.
You know, this is an instance right here for Joshua Wood. first real starting opportunity, first down. You take a look at that guy in the flat. You see the corner vacate it. The reason why you had to throw it so high over to the corner is because your flat receiver was there because the flat defender got depth. Give him the ball. Let him pick up 4, 5, 6 yards. Maybe he breaks the tackle and picks up more. But now instead of it being second and 4, you're backed up 2nd and 10. These are just little things as a quarterback that you'll learn more and more as the season goes on and as you get more experience under your belt.
Jesiaro becoming the favorite receiver so far for Wood. This is the handoff to Cummings. He gets to the outside and knocked out of bounds short of the first down.
Cummings, number 20, carried.
Matt Durrance with the stop there. That safety making the play.
I mean, there's been a few times here in particular where you think Idaho's going to break something, and all of a sudden you have a player come out of nowhere, and this one's Kyle Peterson, the young freshman out of Pearland, Texas. He comes flying in and makes the play, pushes him out, doesn't allow him to get the first down, and once again you have a 3rd and short opportunity for the Vandals.
Wood to Cummings. Cummings up the middle, pushing the pack, and he's right at the line. Let's see where they spot it. Bryson Lamb on the stop.
They're going to say yes. The linesman came in from the top of your screen, and she was there first down, and then she wasn't a first down, and then she was a first down. You know, that's the 6th first down out of 13 opportunities so far for Idaho, where Washington State's only 1 for 9 on 3rd down tonight. So execution-wise, the Vandals much better.
Results have gone in the favor of the Cougars. Wood fakes the handoff. Now over the middle. Triple coverage. And that one falls to the ground.
You know, for a moment it looked like he was open. He split the middle of the field, but like the defense they were supposed to do, they all turned, and Tucker Large just absolutely does a tremendous job of playing that Tampa 2 kind of middle linebacker, and he ran right with their tight end all the way down the field. You had Matt Durrance following up as well to make sure they weren't getting a shot down the field. 2nd and long for the Vandals. Empty set.
This would be the 12th play of the drive, and Wood gets it off. Throws to his running back Cummings, and another first down.
Yeah, that one was too easy. And that may be something that they saw. You spread everybody out and take this defense and make them spread themselves a little thin, because when you bring them back in like an accordion, they do a better job of keeping everything in front of them and getting to the ball. You spread them out, you find some more holes, you find some more gaps, and you might get some seams down the middle.
Art Williams, the running back. And officials running in before the play here.
The play is now under review for potential targeting.
Officials going to take another look at this one.
Officials love to just suck the oxygen out of the room, I swear, sometimes.
You think the Vandals had the momentum right here?
Yeah, but it's just one of those things. Like, of course, they get the call from above. That's why they have to do it. Momentum, yes, but just the flow of the football game, you know, playing. That didn't look in any way, shape, or form as
lowered the helmet.
Malicious. I know they're trying to protect Parker here. Don't lower your head, young man. Make sure you see what you hit. But it's nowhere near the neck or head area. It's at the shoulder pad. If anything, they can go back to Parker and say, hey, son, pick your head up.
Yeah.
This could have been very dangerous for you.
Yeah, that was into the ribs of Cummings.
And Elijah Cummings he's got a little Marshawn Lynch in him, I feel like. He's got a little get after you. He puts Parker on his back.
31 career games for Cummings.
Hopefully they'll come back close here. Should be no targeting, and we can continue on here. First down for the Vandals.
After review, there is no targeting on the play. It will be first down, Idaho.
Idaho reached the Cougars 33-yard line in the second quarter. Ended up having to punt. That was a 15-play drive. This drive right now at 12 plays and counting for 52 yards. We'll see if they can keep the momentum up. Wood pressure, scrambles up the middle, all the way down to the 10-yard line for Wood. Another first down. They're going to call him down at the 12.
This is the furthest that Idaho has penetrated Washington State territory, and for a game in which the defense has bent and bent but hasn't broken the entire game, now are on the precipice of making this a one-score football game.
See how they do with the Vandals in the red zone. Big play up the middle. Art Williams, and did the ball come free? They're saying the ground can't cause the fumble.
Art Williams, number 23, the ball carrier.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down prior to fumbling the ball. Second down.
They can get a first down here. They get inside the 2-yard line.
Great zone read. Gashes them. Puts them in a great. Art Williams there. Young man out of Meriden, Idaho.
Williams gets carry again. Gains about 2 yards.
Be a little short. Third down. Clock ticks away. 8 minutes to go in this ball game. Feels like the offense for Washington State hasn't been on the field for some time.
Yeah, time of possession here for the Vandals has been impressive on this drive. And now it's 3rd and short. Wood again, this time in the end zone for Art Williams. Vandals reach Pater.
That was a character drive, and they found something because they brought in some extra beef over the last few plays there, and they ran the zone read with Art Williams 2 times to hit Pater. Drive was 16 plays, 75 yards, and took up a whopping almost 9 full minutes off the clock to get them within a score now of Washington State.
Cameron Pope in to attempt the point after. It is good. And now the Cougars with just a 3-point advantage. 10-7 as the Vandals march down the field and put 7 up on the scoreboard. Here's tonight's Royal Caribbean game summary. With the score 10-7, here's what we got there. after the fumble by Cummings, and the Cougars recovering it.
They chose to go with Duggar instead of Potter, and they only were able to get a field goal.
That put them up 10-0 until that impressive drive by the Vandals, 75 yards, capped off by the short run by Art Williams.
12 rushes on that drive, 12 out of the 16. Longest play, 12 yards on that drive. They just kind of done what they've done all night long, but this time found pay dirt and got 7 points on the board.
Short kick here, and Layden Smithson picks it up, scrambles, has a little room, dives down at the 17-yard line. Well, tomorrow the Ride for Glory stops in Springfield. PBR Camping World Team Series brings the toughest Cowboys and Bulls to Missouri for a clash you won't forget. Teams fighting, bulls bucking, and legends rising. Don't miss the PBR Camping World Team Series from Springfield tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific on the CW.
I do like going to rodeos, though, and I love the bull riding part of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's bulls and blood.
Those guys are tough. I mean, tough.
Yeah.
Duggar still in at quarterback for the Cougars. Oh, and snap over his head. He's able to grab it, but they take him down at the 3-yard line.
Why is he in the ball game? This is the thing that happens, right? You talk about having something, a planned part of this, but Jackson Potter's been the quarterback the entire game. Have they thought he wasn't enough? This is a tough thing if you're a Cougar fan out there watching, wondering why this happened in these very big situations of a football game.
Now from the 3-yard line, in his own end zone. Quick handoff to Johnson for nothing.
The Cougar faithful have gently disappeared from the stadium. The student section is evaporated, and then you have the Idaho contingent down to our lower right that has gotten loud. The band is playing, and the Palouse now seems like it feels more like Vandal territory than Cougar territory, as this place is getting loud here on 3rd down for the Cougs.
Idaho couldn't be in a better place as far as where their fans are. They're making it very hard right now on Duggar. Duggar to pass. Over the middle. Can't hit his receiver. Adamola Fale, intended receiver. And so now
Dylan Lane, the captain, the young linebacker who was kind of overshadowed by his older brother last year at quarterback. Now you put them in a situation backed up here for a punt that's going to give them very good field position.
Ryan Harris is in the back of the end zone. Harsty. Fair catches at the 45-yard line. And so now the Vandals with momentum and the ball in Cougars territory. What do we come up here? And so we take a look. Jackson Potter, we see him in the background there. And talking to Duggar, as the Vandals now with an opportunity to tie it up or take the lead. Battle of the Palouse is heating up.
Heating up. This, if you look in any way, shape, or form for momentum, everything is falling right now on the side of the Idaho Vandals. They have a great opportunity to pull the upset.
Cummings up the middle. He's going to gain, looks like about 5.
And if you're a Coug fan, you see a lot of the same old in this, where defense plays pretty good in the entire game, and all of a sudden just becomes a bit of a sieve, and they get scored on late. That's what happened over the last 3 games of the season last year under Jake Dickert, and that defense that ended up almost entirely last in every category defensively, which is something that they wanted to see differently here this year under Jimmy Rogers.
2nd and 6 from the 42. Wood backing up, throws over the left side, and incomplete, intended for Gabe Hoffman.
Great job of blitz pickup. Bobbitt decides to bring some pressure. They pick it up well, and Wood does a good job, but Tucker Large is right there. He holds his left shoulder as he goes down, and now the trainers are on the field walking him off. That's not a good sign, because he is a huge part of this defense, especially on the back end.
Ryan, could this be a situation? Well, they're going to walk him off. The officials are holding it, but they had spotted the ball, and then the defensive player showed injury. I know the new rules on that.
Yeah, that's not the type of thing that the rule was invented for. That's for sure.
3rd and 6.
Biggest play of the game.
And Idaho's going to call timeout.
Washington
State's called timeout.
Washington, the first of the half. This will be a
So the biggest play of the game is going to have to wait until the other side of the break. 3rd and long for the Vandals. Under 5 minutes to go in regulation, and Washington State with a 3-point advantage over Idaho as it's 10-7. It's been a tale of 2 halves. Washington State looking impressive in the first half, but the second half has been Idaho.
Yeah, it's been a lot of not great football on both sides, but what we're seeing from the Idaho side of things is they're being more physical, plain and simple. For a game that it looked like it was kind of back and forth, they've just become more physical.
Washington State #1 has to sit out for 1 play.
Not if they call the timeout, though. I believe you call the timeout, the injured player then can return to the field. Let's get Mr. Mothershed on that one.
Wood jailbreak screen, and nothing doing. Matt Durant's on the stop. Harsty couldn't get anywhere.
Everybody flows pretty good. Caden Beatty's the one that gets to him ultimately here at the end. The little bowling ball of a rock there just about takes off his head as they get a tackle for loss. Setting up 4th down, and Idaho's going to have to punt, and you're going to give Washington and State a chance again with about 4 minutes to go, and we'll see which quarterback enters the field.
LJ Harm back to punt, and Freeman back to receive, standing on his 7-yard line. This one's going to bounce. And it takes a Vandals bounce all the way down to the 6. That's where the Cougars will start. Next week, CW Sports Saturday is packed with a full day of action. First, it's a Texas showdown as Baylor faces number 16 SMU. Then we'll head out west as Fresno State takes on Oregon State. Next, buckle up as the NASCAR Xfinity Series speeds into Gateway. That's St. Louis, with drivers fighting for every point on the road to the playoffs. Finally, San Diego State looks for a big road win against Washington State. Don't miss a second of the action at CW Sports Saturday next week at 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on the CW. Look who's back. Jackson Potter back in at quarterback for the Cougars. And he'll hand off to Angel Johnson. darts for a couple.
Idaho with all 3 of their timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout as well. Plenty of time for them. Stop the run.
Clock continues to tick.
You know, if Washington State were to lose this football game, Jimmy Rogers in his first press conference from his first game is going to have a lot of questions to be answered with the decision.
Quarterback switch.
Yeah. I get it if it's the plan, but I mean, at some point you got to understand the situation too.
Quick pass from Potter out into the flat, complete. And Tony Freeman picking up the first down.
Great job. A big part of this and the success of this is the throw and leading the receiver a little bit. And then you have Jeremiah Noga out there on the perimeter. Watch the block. Stalks him. Gets 28 to have to come over the top rather than come underneath to make the tackle. That's Matt Irwin. Big first down for this team. Not only for moving the chains, but it takes more time off the clock. And now they can essentially run this clock out.
He stayed in bounds.
And make them use their timeouts.
Another run. Johnson shifts to the left, and he'll pick up with about 2 on this one. And Idaho's going to call timeout.
Timeout. Idaho, this is their first of the half, a 30-second timeout.
They stop the clock at 2:19. We still have the 2-minute timeout that will be coming up.
Timer, please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 29 seconds.
A little home cooking there. Took a little
adding
10 seconds came off the clock. Well done. Well done, timekeeper here. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying, Rick.
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I think it's come from NASCAR, though.
It's cliche. That's it. I thought that was, you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Rubbin's racing.
Rubbin's racing.
But if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I've heard that saying as well. Angel Johnson in the backfield behind Potter.
I'm running a little RPO here, trying to hit something behind it to kind of close this thing out.
Quick give to Johnson, and he fumbles the ball. It's picked up by the Vandals, and they will have it. 1st and 10. Just outside the 10-yard line.
What a defensive play.
Fumble by the offense, recovered by the defense. First down, Idaho.
Donovan Parham.
All right, this is just a zone to the right side, and an absolute monster. Mateus McLean, the recruit out of Idaho, Priest River, Idaho, is right there. Just head up. Boom. Then he knocks the ball out with his right hand. Not only does he make the stop, but he uses his right hand to knock the ball out of Angel Johnson. Jumps up, scoop, almost score there for the defense, and now they are in prime position to win this football game after Washington State realistically controlled the entire football game.
Tighten up the chin straps here. Williams again up the middle. Gain of about 2.
Anthony Milano, number 0, stop.
And the clock winds down to the 2-minute timeout. A very happy Vandal team. Stay tuned for the final 2 minutes of the game, presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. As we head into the final 2 minutes of today's game, here's our snack back replay presented by the Active Cash Credit Card from Wells Fargo.
It's been all about the rushing game for the Idaho Vandals here in the second half, particularly in the fourth quarter. They've done a great job with the zone read, allowed Joshua Wood to carry the football, put the defense off balance enough, and then went to a new formation, a little bit bigger down the stretch. 22 of the last 28 plays have been rushing plays, and this one was for the touchdown. They went to a beefy offensive line, heavy look on the last 2 plays where they got that in the end zone. 44 rush attempts tonight, 183 yards. And the one big touchdown. Now have a chance to put away their rival here on the Palouse and get a big victory.
Brought to you by Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. It's getting loud here at Gisa Field. Williams, the ball carrier again. Across the 5-yard line. Kenny Worthy, the third on the stop.
Wazoo does a good job of taking the timeout here, so they'll have some time left, hopefully offensively, if Idaho were to score.
This would be a 30-second timeout.
Nigel, what
clock
is going on down there? Do you have any idea about the quarterback switch, and how is Idaho handling this pressure?
Well, the quarterback switch, they wanted to play Duggan the entire game. Obviously, being backed up in that situation wasn't ideal. When it comes to the running game, again, they are creating double teams, and the Washington State linebackers are not showing up downhill fast enough to get the double teams off. The other thing that they did, and you talked about it, Ryan, they brought in they actually had an offensive lineman playing tight end.
Yep.
They're blocking down, and they're forcing the corner to make tackles. And I'm telling you right now, I coached them for a long time. That is not why you gave them scholarships. They're there to cover. I ain't here to make tackles, coach. And that's what they're exploiting in the run game. Let's see if they go back to it on this 3rd and 3.
Yeah, they are. They're heavy. They bring in that heavy extra offensive lineman, lines up almost like in an H-back position inside the tight end.
Williams, the heavier running back at 205 pounds as well. This time he rolls out to throw. Wood under pressure, out of the back of the end zone. Bryson Lamb. Adding the pressure there on Wood. And that'll bring up 4th down. And so now the 21-yard attempt for Cameron Pope to tie the game up. Quickly good, and we've got a tie ball game.
Here's a look at that 3rd down play. They went to that heavy set and essentially just a naked boot. Great job by the scraping linebacker to make him cut back inside and then throw the ball away. Just as Bryson Lamb gets to him and pulls him to the ground to set up a field goal attempt. 10-10 now. Washington State and Jackson Potter, the young redshirt sophomore and only his first start, now has a chance to be the hero and lead them to a come from behind, I guess, comeback win.
You mentioned Bryson Lamb. Good story there. Started as a walk-on here at Washington State. Earned that scholarship. A Washington native out of Bellingham, Washington. So now the pressure is on Jackson Potter. With 1:42 to go, can he get him into field goal range? Again, we've talked that that's about 50-yard field goal range for the Cougars.
One timeout.
This one fielded at the 4. And all the way out to the 26-yard line is Leighton Smithson. All right, Nigel. The clock continues to wind down. 1:36 to go. Can the Cougars march downfield?
Well, fellas, as we showed the sideline there, we saw their mental health coach, Chris Kroc, talking to the offense. He was brought in specifically for these moments to teach these young men how in these moments of pressure, everything on your shoulders, do you calm your nerves and execute your assignments. This is the moment. This is the reason why Chris Crock is here with that Washington State football program.
And this is why Jimmy Rogers named Jackson Potter the starter. He makes good decisions. Can he do it here with the clock winding down and a great strike? Complete to Tony Freeman, and Freeman out over the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I can't tell you how good the throw was. He put it exactly on the right shoulder that allowed him to evade that first tackler and pick up the extra yardage down the field.
19-yard pickup. Potter over the middle again to Freeman.
That one I would have liked to see on the other shoulder. So, you know, hit or miss here. Good job of finding a few yards here or there, though. Still a lot of time left in this game.
Hurry-up offense for the Cougs. And throws into coverage, but a completion there. Kirby Voorhees grabs that one.
Forward progress leaves him 3rd and 1.
Handoff for Voorhees. Up the middle he goes. Another first down for the Cougars to the 35-yard line.
Take your time now. You're getting closer and closer to field goal range.
48 seconds on the clock. Out into the flat. Voorhees again.
What a great tackle.
Potter quickly getting him ready. Clock down under 26. Potter once again. Voorhees out of bounds at the 29.
All right, 19 seconds, 1 timeout. The entire playbook is at your disposal here for Danny Freund. I'd look at something for near the middle, like Nigel was talking about. Defenses tend to kind of push everything towards the outside. For what reason, I don't know during college days, but find something over the middle. You have the timeout. Everything you have at your disposal if you're a play caller right here.
He's made great decisions up to this point. Potter waiting for the snap. Throws over the middle once again. Complete. Extra yards this time. Leo Pulalasi. And he spikes the ball down to stop the clock.
I don't even know if they needed to do that. They could have let that go down to about 3 seconds and called a timeout, I think. And maybe they want a few more yards to make it an easier kick, but
yeah, Ryan, I think the reason you spike that is because now you want to move the ball to the middle of the field or whatever hash the kicker likes. Now you use your final timeout as opposed to letting it click, letting it tick down, taking it, and now he's in a situation he may not be as comfortable in.
Yeah, he may be stuck on the right hash when he wants to be on the left.
Right.
See, a head coach knows these things. He's been in these situations before. That's why we have you down there.
Yeah,
Timeout.
hey, to be fair,
Washington State, their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
If I was that good of a head coach, I probably wouldn't be hanging out with you on Saturday nights.
Listen, did they just call a timeout, Nigel?
Yes, they did.
So now they defeated everything you just told us about the head coaching situation. You just spiked the ball, and now you use your final timeout. So I'm assuming they're going to line up and kick it then, right?
I'd assume so, yeah. Otherwise, that one's a little interesting. Either they were worried they were running out of time. I'm not really sure. That one's got me a little baffled.
Yeah, that's first-time head coach, big-time opportunity. Win your first game against an FCS opponent that you're supposed to win. And, there's a lot of pressures that go into that. And
yeah, and to be fair, the kicker might have said this is exactly where I want to be. Now that being said, that's maybe where you just take a knee
and call the timeout.
Because Idaho will have a chance to get this ball back.
32 yards, Jack Stevens. Kick is up. And before the kick, there was a timeout call. They're going to try to ice him.
Well, he didn't. He got a chance to kick it and knows what it feels like.
Timeout. Idaho. Please reset the game clock to 8 seconds.
So you guys saw there, the interesting part is that ball went through. There were still 3 seconds left. So by taking that timeout with 8 seconds, Idaho is going to have a chance at some form of a return.
It's always the funny part of this, and I love end-of-game scenarios. And I get into discussions with people around whether a player should score or not and go up. And I'm like, the other team can never win if they don't have a chance to possess the ball. That's just how things work in this world. So, you know, if you could have done anything in that moment is you wanted to put yourself in a position where the last play of the game was you kicking the win, and Idaho never has a chance to respond in any way. And like to your point, they're most likely going to have somewhere around 3 seconds to do something if he makes this kick.
Up again, and it's good. Stevens hits the 32-yarder. The Cougars now up 13-10. And as Coach Burton mentioned, 3 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, 2 Idaho players just collided trying to make a block there, and one of those players is still down on the field. Great drive by the young sophomore in his first start. 9 plays, 59 yards, and only 1 minute and 33 seconds to set them up for the game-winning field goal. You know, outside of the 2 possessions with Duggar, they've done a pretty good.
And Coach Rogers said he wanted to make sure that Duggar was getting snaps, but maybe that wasn't the right time.
Well, it's just
and the right field position.
So Detroit Lions fans everywhere dislike me greatly because of this. The NFC Championship 2 years ago, they go for it on 4th down. They don't get it. They could have attempted a field goal with the amount of time left and everything with an NFL game. If he makes the field goal, San Francisco doesn't have enough time and enough possessions to win that football game. You have to look at situations differently. It doesn't matter what's gotten you here. It doesn't matter what, let's say, analytics say sometimes. Like, you're in the NFC Championship game. This is your first game coaching. You want to win a game. I know you want to get him some snaps, but maybe it's not the right time to do it, you know? You've been coaching your whole career. Use that gut in that moment and not just go off a decision, one that ultimately could have cost you. It looks like it's not going to. It's not going to backfire on them, but it's something you're probably going to have to take a look at.
And the kick, surprisingly, he's going to bring it out.
There you go.
And that'll run the clock to 0.
We couldn't have fair caught it on a bounce. That's why.
Yep.
Had to return it.
Had to return it.
Great special teams conversation with the kicker. He could have let it bounce through the end zone, and then it would have been a touchback.
Yep. Potter on that final drive went 6 for 7 for 48 yards to set up the winning field goal. And the Jimmy Rogers era at Washington State starts with a W. Let's take a look at the progressive player of the game, and it has to be Jackson Potter.
Yeah, the redshirt sophomore was big when he needed to be in the biggest moments. The final drive, the drive that got them with the touchdown where he was 6 of 6. What he was really good at, I thought, on this final drive was he took what the defense gave them, and that was a lot of checkdowns, and his players made big plays to get him in that position. This is what gives you confidence as a young quarterback. Not knowing if he's the right fit. He goes 24 for 31 for 209 yards and that touchdown with the game winning 59-yard drive that put them in field goal range for the winning kick.
Today's player of the game sponsored by Progressive. Get coverage you can count on with home and auto at progressive.com. First game for both head coaches at these schools. Jimmy Rogers is going to get the win. A little discrepancy.
They were just
Were there tempers or no?
No, they're heading back to the sidelines. Some sort of discrepancy about the kick, whether he had a fair catch.
It went. He did get it in the end zone,
but he came out of the end zone.
But if one of the players
doesn't matter, the ball bounced on the ground. Nigel, what do we got?
So what I think is, on the return, Idaho called a fair catch. So once possession happened, that should have been the end of the play. When the whistle wasn't blown, the player brought the ball out. So now what the referees are discussing is, does the play end once he got possession, or are they going to let the and it seems as though they've made the decision.
But the ball was squib kicked. It hit the ground.
Yeah, you can still do that. You can still
until he touches it.
Yeah, once it's touched, he's in the end zone. He could have still called it.
You could fair catch a ball that skips across the ground?
Yeah, kickoff, sure.
Okay. I'm learning things every day.
You and me both, brother.
The play has been reviewed by replay. The kick returner gave an invalid signal, and therefore the ball is dead as soon as it possessed. It was in the end zone, which results in a touchback. It will be 1st and 10 for Idaho at the 25-yard line with 3 seconds on the clock.
And again, this is a new signal. This year, he was allowed to do that, but the second he touched it, and you even see him kind of put his hand up like,
where's the whistle? Where's the whistle?
I thought the play was supposed to be dead.
I mean, this is a good job. This is the new rule, of course, of any sort of fair catch or T signal
by anyone on the field.
Anyone on the field.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just the returner.
Yeah, the play is blown dead, or supposed to be blown dead immediately when he touches the ball, and that's anywhere, wherever he touches it. And so, as we had said, 3 seconds still for the Vandals, and so their offense comes out on the field, and after the celebration by Washington State, they've got to refocus if they want to win this game. Wood over the middle, the flea flicker. They go back across the field once again. Is this California? And a big hit right there, Linden.
Fitting. Ram Stevenson rams home the first win.
That is the end of the ball game.
A lot of fun, but Ram Stevenson stays the part, just like in his zone, and just like earlier tonight where he made the big play on the fumble recovery. He closes the game out for Washington State and gives Jimmy Rogers his first win as the Cougar head coach.
Well, the Vandals tried a little, I guess, showmanship there at the end, trying to figure out how to move the ball forward. But in the end, once again, Washington State is going to celebrate win number 1 on the season.
They get fellow new Pac-12er in San Diego State when we have the doubleheader next week. Ted and I will be in Corvallis for Fresno State, Oregon State, but Washington State will take on San Diego State, then hit the road to face North Texas. And here we go, Nigel, with the winning coach, Jimmy Rogers.
Well, Coach, how's your blood pressure?
You know what? I'm proud of the guys for finishing, but I'm disappointed in so many things. We're going to clean things up, look at the film, and get better. But I'm proud of our defense that battled their tail off. They probably took way too many snaps. Offensively, we just lived backed up the whole game, and we could never get anything going. Credit to Idaho. They stopped the run, and they made it really hard for us. So that's a good football team. We'll get better as we go.
I know you're proud of your defense, but you got to also be proud of your quarterback. First start ever, the way he was able to deliver the ball, especially early with that great touchdown pass. What did you think of Jackson Potter tonight?
You know what? I thought he started well. I didn't think we really gave him much in the run game to really help any of the pass game. We'll clean those things up. You know, going into that second quarter, he kind of got into a rhythm, and then at times he just missed some wide open throws. We felt like we were trying to mix things up with Duggar because he's a little bit more of a running threat. But to come in like that after that move has been that happened, credit to him. He marched down the field and we were able to kick a field goal.
Last question. How about that wild ending? Any explanation? Have you ever had anything like that?
Nah, but he fair caught it and then he touched it. So technically the clock is dead.
Well, hey, if every game like this on the Palouse is this exciting, we can't wait to see how the rest of the season goes. Congratulations.
Like this, but thanks.
Congratulations on the win, Coach. Back to you guys upstairs.
Thanks, Nigel. Great to see the smile out of Jimmy Rogers. I mean, you talked about it, the focus, just I guess, the intention of what he wants to continue to do in his career and now here at Washington State. He's really, I think he's got the team buying into his philosophy. And Ryan, what'd you see out of this team today?
I thought they came to play. It was tough. It's going to be a tough go of it. They don't have the same type of resources, and they got a lot of new faces on the Palouse, but they found a way to get the win in Jimmy Rogers' first game, and the young quarterback, when he was kind of set to the side for maybe an explosion, comes back, leads them to victory, and Washington State,
they get the win 13-10 over Idaho, and they win the Battle of the Palouse.